Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there and try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I sure hope this is delicious because this is going to be like the last thing that I review today, hopefully. I'm not planning on doing any more reviews. It's always nice to end on a high note. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's a super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammering on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm inside my truck. And whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when I'm inside the truck and I'm wearing grody work clothes, that means that I was on my way home from work and I found some shit to review for you. But that's not the case today. Actually, I picked this one up a few days ago. I was out at a supermarket. And whenever I'm out and about and I'm shopping, doing my thing, I always try to keep my eyes open for potential review items. And I went over there and I turned a corner and I saw this and I was like, yeah, I could review that. So I went over there, took it home, put it in the fridge, waited a couple days, and then went over there and tossed it in my truck so that when I got off work, I'd remember to review it. Now you know the behind-the-scenes magic. But what is it, folks? What happens to be, it's Cherry Pop, which, okay, naturally flavored soda. It is from the United Sodas of America. I could live in that nation. That sounds like a great nation. It's all united, and there's soda, and good times. Ingredients: carbonated water, organic cane sugar, black carrot for color. All right, natural flavor, citric acid, organic stevia. All right, so it's flavored with stevia. Okay, so it's like an alternative soda. I reviewed plenty of these in the past. Well, okay, that's fine. We'll see what's up with it. Let's get a thing for the thing here real quick. It looks like this. We'll kind of ha. Sure. And I'm interested, it says cherry pop. Does that mean it's a cherry cola, or does that mean it's like just a cherry pop? We'll find out together. Ooh, that's very fragrant. I'm guessing it's just a cherry, like, soda, not a cherry cola. Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Definitely just a cherry soda. No cola flavor involved. Okay. That's pretty nice. It's kind of a tart cherryness. It's not like just like a straight sweet kind of. I mean, it's sweet. It's a soda, but it's definitely got some tartness to it, which I'm kind of not surprised by because, especially since they're using stevia to go over there and sweeten it. Stevia is fine in its way, but like pretty much any alternative sweeteners, it's obviously going to have a different flavor than normal sugar would. And one of the ways that I found that a lot of these companies use to kind of cover that up a little bit is by making sure that their drink is a little bit tangy, maybe a little bit sour, something to kind of mask that less familiar sweet flavor. Excuse me. I don't know if that's what they're doing here because honestly, the tanginess that it has, a little bit of tartness, isn't anything overly so. It doesn't feel like it's being tagged on. It just seems like a cherry soda that, has a little bit of a tang to it, but it's actually pretty nice. I like the way that it drinks. Like, it has a nice carbonation level. The one thing I will say, like, and again, like, I reviewed alternative sodas and stuff. I think it's a nifty idea. I think we're still a little bit of ways away from it really catching on properly, but, we're building towards it. I'm not, I'm not against it. The problem that I'm having with it is that it's a nice flavor. The cherry flavor is good. I wouldn't say it's great, but it's nice enough. And then again, it's got a little bit of a tang. It's a little bit sweet. It is just one of those things where like I can't help but think to myself that this would probably taste better if it just had normal sugar in it. Because it is just one of those things. Like when you do have these ones that are flavored with stevia or sucralose or what the fuck ever, it's like they're interesting and they again I think it's cool that we have these alternatives. But if you're like me where you grew up on the sugary stuff, there's a noticeable drop off. It's and mind you, I don't want to make it seem like this doesn't have a decent amount of flavor. It does. But at the same time, there's kind of no getting around the fact that if it just used normal sugar, it would probably have more flavor. It would probably have that extra oomph. But that aside, I do like the flavor of it. I wish the cherry was maybe a little bit more pronounced because, again, it does have that tanginess, so it's kind of, but I can kind of get down with this. Like, I'm overall, I'm going to say I actually think I like this. Out of the alternative sodas that I've had, I would say that this one, it's one of the ones that tastes the most like an actual soda. Like, this, I will say there's a little bit of an aftertaste. It's kind of, I think it extends a little bit from that tanginess I was talking about, where it's like just oh so slightly like mildly sour and or bitter. I don't know that I like the aftertaste that much, but it's not super intrusive, so this is one of those ones where like if I were to go to like a specialty soda place or something like this and I was told that this was, made by some small, company in I don't know, what's a state that Idaho. Sure, why not? Let's say it's from Idaho. They got potatoes in this. I mean, actually, it's not from Idaho. It's from Brooklyn, apparently. But if someone were to tell me that this were made by like a small company, I would fully believe that was just, okay, yeah, that's just like a small batch soda kind of thing, versus it being like an alternative soda. So I'll give it to him on this. I think it's a nice thing. It is a little bit, but two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Maybe on occasion, and sure. Here's the thing. For me personally, I think that the alternative soda thing is neat, and it gives me an opportunity to try new stuff, which I always like to do. I haven't quite found one yet that really, gives me exactly what I want that I get from soda, just normal soda. But this one's getting pretty close, and the overall of it is nice. I like the flavor. Again, I'm not big on the aftertaste, but like overall, it's a nice experience, and it's pretty dang close to, being like a proper soda. So, would I get it again? Maybe. It's just one of those things of like, I mean, again, I'm not fully on board with the alternative soda thing just yet, but I do kind of like it. So like maybe. If I'm recommending it, sure. I will say this. I could not recall off the top of my head what it cost me, but I would wager that, well, with it being an alternative soda and natural flavors and all that shit, it probably costs more than the normal stuff. And that's one hurdle that like these alternative sodas and all that stuff, they're going to have to overcome. They're going to have to get it to a price point where they can match up. Because once you've got that, once you can go over there and say, hey, it costs, around as much as a can of Coke or what have you, then all right, now you have an actual competitor. You have something for people to decide on. But right now, typically, in my experience anyway, they're not there yet. But I do think it's kind of a nice thing. I think if you're somebody who you're looking for alternative sodas, at least this one flavor, is nice. And I think it's genuinely, again, one of the better alternative soda flavors that I've had. And yeah, I think there's something to it, you know? And again, I think if you're kind of already in that kind of, range of people, and if you're not, and you're like me and you just like to try stuff, like, it's a nice thing, you know? I don't think there's anything to, like, actively dislike about it. It's a nice drinking experience. Again, it does feel more like a real soda than some of the other ones do. And the flavor is pretty solid. So, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there themselves a truly soda-tastic rest of your life, because soda is good. I mean, realistically, we should probably drink water and blah, 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 but soda's delicious. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do it all the time, I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, the sun, it's important we go over there. When we find take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, do you have any alternative soda brands that you're partial to? Any that you like me to, like to recommend for me to go over there and try? I do always try to get fan recommendations, though I would be lying if I said that I was particularly great at it. Sometimes I can't find items. Sometimes I just forget, Occasionally somebody will, be like, oh, you should do this. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Where's that? Oh, it's located 3 states away. It's like, probably not going to happen. But if it's something I can get a hold of, usually I'll at least try it. But anyway,